Hey everybody, welcome back to another unboxing of HeroClix. Now, I know last week we said we were going to maybe do some other sets, but we did not find what we were looking for. We are not satisfied. Hamilton reference. Now, we have one brick of Justice League Unlimited, but also, for those of you just starting the game, we have the HeroClix starter set. And this is our original Justice League members. We have Superman, Green Lantern, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, and of course, Martian Manhunter. Now recently Hawkgirl has been a part of the team. Unfortunately, she is not in this starter set, but we may pull her in this set. So for this video, what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into this starter set, and then we're going to open up 2 booster packs from this great brick of Justice League Unlimited. So I'm going to set that down for a second, and we're going to go right into this. So I got my mini hatchet here because I'm tired of opening these by hand. Get a nice cut, open that up, and let's see what is inside a starter set. These starter sets are great. If you're starting the game, you don't have any figures, get yourself a starter set. It'll have everything you need to get started. So the contents of a starter set, literally, are 6 HeroClix figures. You have the 6 cards for the HeroClix figures. You have 10 object and terrain tokens. We'll talk about what those are in just a moment. The power and abilities card, which is really important when coming into this game, needing to learn the rules and what have you. You have the full color maps, which you have 2 maps, but they're double-sided. So double-sided, more maps. Then you have the dice. You have 2 6-sided dice and the core rulebook, everything you need to get started. Now these figures are fantastic though. Just take a good look at these figures here. I'm going to put them under the bottom camera we have set up here. How does that look there?
Perfect.
I got Tony here with me and his voice is recovered. He has decided to stop engaging in those activities that cause the damage to his throat. Some people are disappointed, but his throat is more important than whatever he was doing to cause the damage. And that's as far as I'm going with that. Now, you see very clearly, you got our girl Wonder Woman, Green Lantern there, Superman, The Flash, Batman, and Martian Manhunter. This is a big deal for you Martian Manhunter fans. There has not been a good Martian Manhunter released in years if you're a HeroClix fan. So if you want to get a good Martian Manhunter, this person is a really good team player. And I'm going to take these out and go over the figures with you one at a time. Is that the good angle to put the figures there? Good. We're messing with all these different little camera angles to try to give you the best that we can for your watch time. Okay, and the dice. These are nice dice. You get 2 nice D6 dice. Which this one is, there we go. Yeah, these are good.
I like those dice. They're nice.
You have the JLU as your 6. Let's just give them a roll. Let's see what happens, huh? Let's see what happens. So let's see what we get. Wow, that's terrible. It's terrible. One more time. A 5. Not much better. Normally in this game, you want a 7 or better in your rolls. Ah, there we go, an 8. That's a good roll. That is a good roll right there. So these are good dice. We'll just put those here. So you can take a look at them whenever we show that camera angle. And then the rest of this has your maps that you need. Now I display the figures on a, this is a really nice map. This is like a nylon map, neoprene. It feels really nice to play on. It's nice and soft. And I'm only showing you a part of it for our figures. But these come with paper maps, as you can see. And they're the same size. They're double-sided. And these maps actually offer some additional rules that you can use when you play the game, when you add to the game. And each side offers different things. We'll go into those maps in a second. It has your core rule book, like I mentioned earlier. This has everything you need to learn the game. You can print this out online, but just having this core rule book in this little portable size is really useful, very helpful. It has everything you need to learn this game. It's only 35 pages. The print is small, but you can learn the game in a couple days. Just reading the rules, just playing it little by little. And your power and abilities card. This is a really important thing to have when you're playing the game, even as a veteran player. This tells you what every power does in this game. It doesn't include traits or special abilities because those are found on the card. However, when you just see a little color that says flurry or leap climb or charge or hypersonic speed, this will describe exactly what that power does and what abilities it gives your character. And on the back, there's some additional rules. It gives you the inherent abilities. These are things that all HeroClix can do. And your improved abilities, like your improved movement, when I mentioned things in the other videos, such as improved movement through hindering terrain, improved movement through elevation. This will explain exactly what I mean by that. It also goes over the targeting abilities, your ability to see through hindering or past elevation. All of those things are described on this card. And it's a nice little folded card with everything that you need, all the information. It doesn't have all the rules, but it does have everything that you would ever need to know about one figure in this little card here. So you don't always have to carry the rules with you once you learn them, but this little thing I always bring with me when I'm playing the game in case there's a discussion about the rules or someone misunderstands something or they don't believe you for like something that your character can do. You just refer to this and you show them, yes, you can do that, or no, you cannot do that. And that'll settle arguments really quickly. Now, other things, I punched one out already, but these little cardboard pieces of special terrain. So I'm just going to punch these out. Some of them just come right out, and that's great. So you don't have to worry about breaking anything. But they're all different. This one has a hindering terrain, so you use this. I'll show you here on this little camera here. So this is a hindering terrain. This can be used if you have a character that generates hindering terrain, or if you have a character that generates smoke. You could simply just use this for smoke. But the smoke does about the same thing as hindering terrain does. So sometimes you have a character that'll generate smoke clouds, and these little markers will be used to signify that. So if you have a few of them, you have a character that generates smoke cloud, you put them together like that, and that's your smoke cloud. Normally a character can generate up to 6, so you would have 6, and luckily we have 2 of these. Check out that bottom camera view. And they're all double-sided because sometimes characters generate different types of terrain. Sometimes characters generate hindering terrain. Sometimes they can generate smoke cloud. Sometimes they can generate blocking terrain, which would be represented by this barrier right here. So that's blocking terrain. You can't move through that unless you have a special ability. You can destroy it if your character does at least 3 damage to it. And then you could generate hindering terrain. So this is really useful if your character destroys a piece of blocking terrain on the map. then you flip that over and you replace it with this marker. And now that is a destroyed blocking terrain, which is hindering terrain. And then sometimes you have a character that generates special markers. It's just a marker that simply is only something that character can use. For example, the Doomsday in this set will generate a special Omega Beams marker. And that is, we're so hoping to get that figure.
Doomsday or Darkseid?
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean Darkseid. Doomsday is not in this set.
It's a good thing my voice is not.
But yeah, Darkseid. He generates a special Omega Beams marker, and you can move it along the map. And once it hits a figure, he can do a close attack on that figure. So we're hoping to pull that. But that's just one example of the special terrain marker. And then we have the hindering terrain marker that's broken. And sometimes you have a character that can generate water terrain, and that's where these come in handy. Right here you see it's just a piece of water terrain. And if a character is in water terrain, it acts as hindering terrain. However, if your character can swim, some characters have the ability to swim, they will get a +1 to their defense if they're in water terrain. And on the other side, you have Smoke Cloud. So you have characters that can generate different types of terrain, and it is so handy to have these with you so you can put those markers down. So that way you don't have to use poker chips or things like that. That's normally the way that this game goes. Now, recently I was watching a video of people playing, and sometimes they will use these as their action tokens. And if you're in a rough spot, sure, you can use these as action tokens. They're not my favorite to do that with, but you can. It's definitely something you can do. And last but not least, we have, oh, I dropped one. We have our objects. I haven't talked about these before, but the yellow, these are, I'll show you on this camera here. The yellow are your light objects, and your red, which one of them popped out, which is good. These are your heavy objects. These are fantastic.
TV.
Yeah, that's a TV.
So that's considered a heavy object.
Yeah, in this game, I feel like the trash can would be more heavy as an object, but
before there was dumpsters,
Mhm.
they were like little dumpsters. But I mean, I could take I could take a hit by an aluminum trash can.
yeah,
I mean, it might do some damage.
maybe it's an empty trash
Now
can.
the fridge, that's heavy.
Now, something you can do, I don't do this very often, but you can actually place this on the back of the figure like that, and now your character is holding it. That was like kind of one of the older ways to do it. You can still do it that way. I know a lot of people do, but that way you know the character is carrying that heavy object, and then when they use the heavy object, you would remove it from that character. Now, only characters that possess super strength on their dial or as a trait can actually carry heavy objects, but any character can carry a light object. So light objects, heavy objects, both very useful to adding to your damage. If you hit somebody with a light object, it increases your damage by +1, and if you hit them with a heavy object, it increases your damage +2. So it gives characters with super strength that ability to deal massive damage. And you can also throw them. I mean, not like a frisbee throw them, but you can do that if you want. But in the game, your characters can actually throw these objects if they're carrying them. They can throw them up to 6 squares away. And if you throw a light object, it deals 2 damage. And if you throw a heavy object, it deals 3. So it gives characters that have 0 range an opportunity to deal ranged attacks. Deal damage from range, I mean. So it's a nice creative way to be able to do that. It's all about being creative in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and punch these out. And now we don't have to worry about these cutouts. I'll just put all this stuff here. You know, that way every time we are getting on this camera angle, everybody can take a look. And there's a third one, but I tossed it, and it's not really something I need right now. Oh, look at that. Toss right back to me. Thank you, sir. So there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the cards. I want to talk about the figures a little bit, why you should get the set. for those of you who really want to get into it. I know some people just want like, I just want the figures. They look cool. Well, I like to know what they do. So let's start with the person who started it all, Martian Manhunter. There would not be a Justice League without Martian Manhunter. How does that card look on there?
Looks good.
Yeah, good. So all of the Justice League Unlimited, they have a trait called Founding Members. And this is an amazing trait, especially if you use all of these characters on a team. Now, this is what it does. It gives you +2 to your speed, which is fantastic. It allows you to move 2 more squares. But only if your force has 4 or more characters with the Justice League keyword. Now, the next part of the trait is this. For all characters that can use this trait, action total +1, but only if your force has 6 or more characters with the Justice League keyword. So with that ability, it gives you extra actions. Normally, you play this team somehow in a 300-point team. Then you only get 3 actions. Now, with this trait, if you have everybody on this team with this trait, instead of getting 3 actions, you would get +1, +2, +3. And if you fit them all on one team, you would get +6 to your action total. So you would have 9 actions that you can use. Now you only have 6 characters, so you only have 6 actions technically. But with 9 actions, it gives you opportunity to do more things. And everybody's speed would be +2, so everybody's moving further than they normally would. It's a way to signify that they're working as a team and they can do more as a team than they could individually. I really like that trait. Now, this Martian Manhunter also has a great damage power. It's called You Have Your Assignments. That's why I really wanted this Martian Manhunter. So first he has leadership, which will give you an additional +1 to your action total. That's great on its own. But then he has shape change as well. Also good. But this is the part that gets really good. As a power action, choose another friendly character with 0 or 1 action tokens that shares a keyword and then move them up to half their speed value. So I'll explain how that works. So you have Martian Manhunter, you have him on the back burner here. He's just sitting there and he's giving the other Justice League their assignments. So you give him a power action. That means you give him an action token. And then you choose whatever character you want who has the Justice League keyword. I'll choose Wonder Woman. And then you can move her up to half of her speed value. And she doesn't get an action token or anything like that. Now she's moved up closer in the board, like she's moved up more without having to use any of her own actions. And then she can use her own actions to move even further. Or you can use him to do a tactical retreat and move a character back who is maybe in danger, but you don't want to give them an action token to move back. A lot of ways you can use that. Very useful with characters that have hypersonic speed, like the Flash. He can move like really far out. And then with Martian Manhunter, you can use him to pull him back, or you can use him to push him out further and try to do an alpha strike and hit that one character that deals a lot of damage, the one character you're really afraid of, and you just nail that character really hard with the Flash, and you pull him back out for safety. There's a lot of stuff you can do here, a lot of different tactics that can be used. So I really enjoy that Martian Manhunter for that purpose. I'm just glad to have another John Jones. Just love me some Martian Manhunter. Who's your favorite Justice League member, Tony?
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman is to be respected.
Yeah.
And we are going to go over her next. Wonder Woman, Diana. So she has the founding members trait, which we've talked about, and we know how good that is. But she has a special attack power as well. When Wonder Woman hits with, I think it says range attack. Yes, with a range attack, until your next turn, a hit target gains immobile and can't use damage powers. It's her magic lasso. So she will hit somebody with her magic lasso, and that character cannot move. It can still do attacks, but it can't move. And she takes away their damage powers. So they can't use things like outwit or perplex or even probability control. That is fantastic. Now her range is a 3. So you think like, oh, that's terrible range. Well, it comes in handy because she has hypersonic speed on her top dial. So when you use hypersonic speed, it allows you to do a range attack, but you have to half your range. So that allows her, it'll round it down to the nearest value that's up. So 1.5 will go to 2, and it'll give you a 2 range, meaning you can do a range attack from at least 1 square away. You definitely need that because you can't do a range attack with 1 range because you'll be adjacent, and you need a special ability to do that. But if you have at least a range of 2, you could be at least a square away. So let's say she wanted to attack her friend Martian Manhunter because he was being mind controlled or possessed or something, and she needed to use her lasso of truth on him. Well, she could be 1 square away and use that lasso of truth. Very good. Very good. Thank you, Diana Prince. Now, Diana can be played at 100 points or 40 points. Those different dials make it much easier to play these on a team. So Martian Manhunter can be played at 75 points or 40 points. Now, this Martian Manhunter, he's not really your big damage dealer, even though he does on top dial have an 11 attack, 3 damage. You could use him as backup, but this guy really shines at 40 points, and he operates as that character who works in the back, who's moving the Justice League and connecting them with his telepathy. He keeps them all connected. So Martian Manhunter really is the soul of the Justice League. So next, we're going to go into Superman. I love this Superman. This is a fantastic Superman. I did do my research before I looked at these characters, and I decided that we really needed this starter set. And it's mostly because of this Superman. He's fantastic. So he has the founding fathers trait. Or I'm sorry, founding members trait, not founding fathers, because we do have a Wonder Woman, trying to be inclusive. But his second trait is great. Love it. So I'm such a nerd for the show, so I can even like tell you where the quote comes from, because they use quotes from the show very often. What we have here is a rare opportunity for me to cut loose. So in the last episode of the Justice League, where he's fighting Darkseid, he realizes he can go all out on Darkseid, and they have this great battle where Superman, he is just cutting loose and hitting him with everything that he can. Darkseid, he doesn't even know what to do until he unfortunately gets the upper hand, but you have to watch it for yourself.
No, there's statute of limitations is gone on that. There's
True.
no spoilers anymore.
That's true, but I will let you watch it for yourself.
What, 2006?
Yeah, it's older.
Yeah.
But you still got to watch it for yourself. It's my favorite.
I'm rewatching it again. So.
It is good. It is definitely good. It's one of those few times where I think Superman is depicted at his full power. Because normally he's always being held back, or he's being hit by somebody who doesn't even have super strength and he's getting knocked into a wall or whatever. But this Superman, he is cutting loose. So this trait, it gives him super strength, which is good. And then as a free action, you can place Superman adjacent to an opposing character he knocked back at least 1 square this turn, and then make a close attack targeting that character. So, allow me to explain. We'll use Wonder Woman as a reference here. So, Superman comes in, and he charges, or he uses his hypersonic speed, and he hits Diana really hard. Well, since he has super strength, he can knock her back. So she gets knocked back a couple squares. As a free action, he can place himself adjacent and hit her again. Now, on top dial, he's dealing 4 damage. That's fantastic. You can deal 2 attacks, 4 damage each, 8 damage, 1 character on 1 turn. That's fantastic. And he never loses that trait.
That's pretty damn good.
You can play him at, You can play him at 125 or 60 points. I definitely would play him at 125. He is that good. And then at the end of the dial, it says, and show you how powerful I really am. Stop, invulnerability, super senses. Superman can't be healed. So at the end of his dial, he has 2 stop clicks. It gives him invulnerability and super senses, and he can't be healed, unfortunately. However, it does stop him from taking more damage. So it's his last chance to just keep going and keep attacking. Superman is always that one that will put himself in danger so his other teammates don't have to be.
What's his damage at the end of that clip of his dial?
At the end of his dial, he has 4 damage again.
Just do it. Oh, okay. He gets it back.
He will never goes below 3 damage.
That's great.
At top dial, he's 4, and then for a few clicks, he's at 3, and then his last 3 clicks, he's at 4 again. And you can play him at 60 points and still get those 2 stop clicks and his trait, dealing all those things and all that damage. He doesn't have any range. This is not your range attacker Superman. This is your up close and just get up there and dirty. I want to use the Superman to fight a really nasty Hulk and just have him go at it. Like, this is the Superman you want to do that with. For 125 points, there's some great Superman that they made in HeroClix, but this one right now, man, you can't touch him. He is that good. For his points, you can't beat him. And he has some great keywords. He has Justice League, Kryptonian, Metropolis. This is your Superman that you want. He is good. Next, Batman. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
That's the Batman I wanted to mix in with Amanda Waller and Stripe.
He's a good Batman.
Yep.
So this Batman, you can play him at 100 points or 60 points. He's got the founding members trait, and then he has the Batwing trait. So you have to pretend that he's in the Batwing. And you have to really use your imagination because he doesn't get a Batwing. But what the Batwing trait does is it gives him flight because he's flying in the Batwing. And it gives him a range of +2. So he has a 4 range normally. It gives him an additional 2 range, so he's shooting at 6 range, very respectable. And then Batman, the first time Batman would take more than 1 damage, he takes 1 damage instead, and then he loses that trait. So you think you're going to alpha strike this Batman. You're like, oh, I hate that Batman. I'm going to hit him for 5 damage. Well, he's only going to take 1, and then he loses the ability to be in the Batwing, but that's okay. He still does a lot of cool stuff. And then you can maybe heal him up with a healer later. He's got 7 clicks at 100 points. That's very respectable. He's got a nice top dial running shot of 10 movement, but the founding members trait will increase that movement by 1. And he has his Justice League team ability, which gives him another +1. That's good. That is good. Now, you'll notice that this Superman, I'm just going back to him really quick, he doesn't have the Superman team ability. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need to see through hindering terrain. This guy is going to shoot you up close. He's going to come up close and just brawl with you. And everyone else so far has the Justice League team ability. But this Batman also has the Batman team ability. You need to have the Batman team ability with Batman because it gives him stealth. And a Batman without stealth is just a sad bat. So we're just going to slide Batman over. And then The Flash. This is a great Flash. They really designed this Flash really well. Check out that Flash. Take a look at that bad boy.
It looks great.
Great Flash. Now I know we've seen the sculpt before, but this is different. So this Flash, he has the founding members trait. It gives him a +2 to his speed, which he needs because hypersonic users, they want to move as far as they can. So already, if you meet the requirements for the founding members trait, this Flash could potentially have a 15 movement.
Oof.
15 squares, at least 14, you know. But man, 15 squares, just moving around, that's so much of this board. And then if you team him up with this Martian Manhunter so he can move half of his movement for free, and then he's moving, he's going to be going everywhere. You will not be able to stop this guy. Now, I would combine that with a character who can use telekinesis. You can move him an additional, like 6 squares up. And then use Martian Manhunter to move him up even more. And then it doesn't matter. You can't hide from him. He'll hit you wherever you go.
What is super... Oh, I see what you're saying. Telekinesis, so this way he can move after.
Telekinesis somebody can move him up a little bit.
Right.
It's great. There's so many things. But let's talk about what this one can do. So everywhere at once, it's a special movement power he has for his first 4 clicks if you play him at 100 points. Or for his first 2 if you play him at 60.
Before we continue that, do most of those characters have 100 points?
Not all. So this Martian Manhunter has 75 points as his highest.
Okay.
But this Wonder Woman does have 100. This Superman has 125. This Batman has 100, and this Flash has 100.
So essentially, you can go Superman.
You can put Superman and Martian Manhunter, that's your 200.
200,
and then you can play another one of these for your other 100.
Right.
Or you can mix and match and play someone at 40 and someone at 60. There's a lot of different possibilities.
So they did it so that you can use all of the founding members at the same time, right?
Yes. As many as you can.
Yeah.
And you can mix them with characters you get from the set because the trait says as long as the character has a Justice League keyword. So if you have some low point figures with a Justice League keyword, like Amanda Waller, the older one,
right,
you could put her on this team somehow, and you can still fit those requirements for the founding members, even though she's not a founding member.
Amanda Waller, she's not the older one. She's the one where she ends up fighting Brainiac, or Brainiac, Lex Luthor.
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, we have 2 of them.
And she starts blasting him with the 44 Magnum.
I love that.
You know, going back to the series, this is Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
As, you know, back in the day when I watched it the first time, you fall in love, obviously, with the original founding members of the Justice League.
Yes, you do.
But I'm 39 years old now, right? So I'm in love with Amanda Waller now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's my favorite character in the entire series.
She's like an anti-hero.
She is, and it's funny because they kind of she kind of puts fear into the Justice League.
Yeah.
And she's just a regular human, but she's just so intelligent, and she has Batman's number, man.
Yes.
You know, nobody ever. I don't think anybody's ever, not even the Joker, has ever put Batman in his place the way Amanda Waller did.
Yes.
And as an older, I guess, viewer, because I'm watching the series again, I'm just in love with what they did with Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
Which is why she's on this team that I'm putting together in the clicks.
Yeah.
I have to have Amanda Waller. I love her.
She's great. You can't, and then they don't really do the Suicide Squad.
No, not really.
They do like Task Force X.
Yeah.
Which is like the official name, but you still kind of see like the side of her that kind of comes
out. And she doesn't care like what she did with the Ultimate.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh, they're gonna die. Who cares? We're just gonna clone a bunch of them.
And she has like all these clones of them.
Like literally a storage room full of like cloned Ultimates.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just such a badass. And villains and heroes fear her. And that's what I love about her.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody fears her.
And her role was really just to try to protect the world from the Justice League.
Or just the U.S.
Yeah, technically.
She kind of doesn't care about the rest of it. She's just like the all-American hero.
Yep.
Just not how we think of an American hero, but she truly is. Because she puts the U.S. before everything.
Mm-hmm.
I love her. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop fawning over.
No, you're good. Well, hopefully maybe we'll pull another Waller.
Hey, I'm gonna be okay with that.
So this Flash here, he does his hypersonic speed deal, which is great, but you can also do an additional thing with him. You give him a power action, and then he can ignore all characters for adjacency, so he doesn't have to worry about getting tied up. And then you can move the Flash up to his speed value, which is going to be pretty high. Then make a close attack, targeting all characters he moved through, regardless of adjacency. Instead of normal damage, deal each hit target 1 penetrating damage, then knock back each hit character 1 square in the direction of your choice. So I'll give you a little example, because I love to do that. So you have the Flash. You activate his everywhere at once power. He's going to go right through each one of these characters because he can ignore them for movement. So he's going to go right through all of them, and then he can make a close attack. So you would roll. Hopefully you roll high. Okay, you roll a 7 plus his 10, so a 17.
That's respectable.
So you see who that hits. Unfortunately, that doesn't hit any of our boys here because they're all.
Yeah, those are big boys. Though.
Yeah, even Wonder Woman. Yeah, they're all at 18, so it won't hit. But let's just pretend here we got a 9, and they all hit. So each one of them would take 1 penetrating damage, and then you can move them in,
just scatter them.
in 1 adjacent square. Because he ran up and just hit them really fast. Pop, 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 pop.
That's pretty badass.
So that's great.
That's why you said at the beginning that what you really wanted from there was that Martian Manhunter and Flash.
No, it's Superman, really.
Oh, Superman.
If you want Flash, you can have Flash.
Nah. He's ours. If we get divorced, then we'll have to
Okay, deal.
file for custody.
Deal. So I love this Green Lantern. This is just your straight up Green Lantern, no special tricks. All you have is what's on the dial. Great for new characters, new people getting into the game. He's really good, and his powers are not too complicated. So he has the founding members trait, and then the rest are just regular powers that he has, which really vary depending on what click he's on.
Does he at least have willpower?
He does.
They all do, right?
He has Indomitable, so he has a traded willpower. Not everyone does,
Okay.
but Green Lantern does, so does Superman, and so does Wonder Woman. Martian Manhunter does not. He doesn't really need it, I don't believe. Flash would be really powerful if he had that. And then Batman doesn't have it. But, he has a lot of things. It's hard to get like all of the things you want in one figure. Great set. Very good. I'm really happy with that.
Like it. I'm glad we picked it up because I really do need that Batman for my team that I want to put together.
Man, it just really comes together when you have that perfect figure and you can just build a team around that figure. That's one thing I really love about this game. So if you're getting into this game, I will rate this starter set like a 10 out of 10. It's great. It has everything you need. The classic Justice League, your power and abilities card, your core rule book, your maps. I'll open up one of them.
How many maps does it have?
It has two maps, but they're double-sided. So you have 4 maps.
4 maps.
And they're good maps. They're good maps. So they're all on theme with things about the show. So here we got this map. And then
what is that?
This map, the title is in the bottom corner. Let's see. This is Justice League Watchtower Indoors.
There you go.
So this is inside of the Watchtower.
See, that would be cool if they had Ultimate. Did they have the Ultimate in this?
I don't know. They didn't make them.
See, that would be cool with the Ultimate when they invaded the Watchtower.
Yeah.
With Power Girl.
Yes.
But I don't think we even have a Power Girl.
They did not.
Wait, let me just kind of turn on my real quick. I want to talk directly to WizKids. Guys, WizKids. I know you guys watch the show, or at least you had people that watch the show counseling you on this set. Where's the Annihilator? And where's Power Girl? Those 2 characters are so important to the Unlimited series.
Oh, yeah.
Power Girl invaded the Watchtower with the Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
And the Annihilator came out in like 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Just wrecking. You know, so maybe you guys will surprise us with a 300-point Annihilator or something.
That would be great.
Can you imagine that? And,
that'd be
and a Power Girl. We need a Power Girl. I don't know if you could do like a
Hawk and Dove are not in this set.
It's true. We do. Hawk and Dove were on like three episodes.
Yes.
But I can see. I mean, look. Forget Hawk and Dove. Give me Annihilator. Yeah. Give me Annihilator. Give me Ares.
And give me a Doomsday.
Doomsday. We need a Doomsday.
We need a new Doomsday.
Yeah, and a Power Girl. Come on, guys. They're probably gonna come out with. Did they come out with a set already for the Justice League before Limited?
No, this is kind of like all in together.
Okay, so maybe they'll come. You know.
Maybe a part 2.
That's true. Like a part. Have they done that before?
They kind of gave us a sneak peek with the Batman animated series.
Yeah.
And they gave us like the original Justice League people.
Right.
So and then this was like technically like the full thing. We maybe we'll see a part 2 or something.
Please, we need it.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time in a couple minutes.